It's time for my weekly weigh-in. I'm excited to see if I lost any weight this week. If you haven't seen last week's video where I'm announcing my weight loss journey and talking about my struggle with food addiction, make sure you check that video out. But today will be the first time that I'm weighing in since I've started getting on track with my diet, getting on track with my exercise. So let's hop on the scale. I'm actually running a little bit late this morning. I'm trying to just get ready for work. Morning is my favorite time to weigh myself, typically. We'll see if we can keep that up in the future. But let's hurry up, jump on the scale, and then whenever I get back from work later, we'll talk a little bit more about what I ate this week, kind of the macros of my meals, and what kind of exercise I was doing. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I have the scale, and I don't know if you guys know this, but fish are actually very self-conscious about their weight. You know how I know? Because they carry their scales everywhere. Okay, but here's my scale, and let's go ahead and turn it on. We just give it a little, okay, on. Oh boy, was it? It always just turns on very easily. There we go. Okay, so here's our scale. I am holding the camera. I'm not sure if that's going to make a little bit of a difference. Also, in the last video, I did announce my starting weight. It was approximately 192 pounds. The actual number was 191.8. So pretty close to 192 pounds. Let's see what it says. Whoo. Okay. Oh, it went off again. Okay. Whoa, Whoa, 187. Can you guys see that? It's a little bright there. I feel like when you first start out, you're going to lose a little bit more. We'll talk about that later in the second part of the video. So stay tuned for the second part of the video. I will talk about, like I said, what I was eating and my exercise and why I think I was successful in losing 5 pounds this week. Yay! I'll see you guys in just a little bit.
And we're back. Today was actually a long, stressful day at work today. But we're not talking about that. We are talking about my weight loss journey and my weigh-in this week. Let's recap my weigh-in from this morning. I started my journey last week. I weighed in at 191.8 pounds. Let's just say 192 pounds for the sake of math, right? And then today, if you saw just now, I weighed in at 187 pounds. Yay! That's 5-pound weight loss. Woo! I feel super motivated and super excited, but I also understand that it's not uncommon when you start a new weight loss journey or a new diet or a new fitness routine that you may see some of those higher numbers in your first or second week. It's really a shock to your body to do something new and different. First, just a side-by-side comparison. The 2 weeks of the holidays, like Christmas, New Year's, I was eating nonstop junk food. If you haven't seen my previous video where I announced my weight loss journey and talk about the specific times that I overate over the holidays, make sure you check out that video. I had way too many brownies. I had hot dogs. It was my birthday, so I had way too much birthday cake and dessert. But now that we're back on track, I have eaten this week so many more healthy foods. I did meal prep all of my own meals. If you are interested in seeing some of my recipes, I would love to show you guys my recipes and what kind of high protein, low calorie meals that I'm making. One of my tricks, I really love cauliflowered rice. It may not be quite as good as the real deal. Rice is pretty good, but the cauliflower rice still gives me a great option for a low calorie, low carbs. So I definitely recommend the cauliflower rice if you haven't tried it. You do need to maybe season it, kind of zhuzh it up a little bit, make it exciting, because you don't want to eat boring food when you're dieting or when you're trying to have more nutritious options available for yourself. You have to find ways to make it exciting, right? So you're looking forward to your meals and not just, oh, chicken, broccoli, rice again. I love to use the Fitbit app. I think it's really helpful for tracking my calories and my macros. If you haven't used it before, it's really helpful. I used to use the MyFitnessPal, which is also a great tool to track your nutrition, but I do also have the Fitbit Watch, which keeps track of how many steps I'm walking per day, my calorie burn, all of those great things that you want to pay attention to if you're in a weight loss journey. So I love my Fitbit and I love the Fitbit app. Let's look at my calories. On Sunday, I ate 1,146 calories, and I burned, according to Fitbit, 2,562 calories. And that's kind of my average for the whole week. I'll be sure and include the chart so that you're able to see that. But I'm eating approximately 1,100 to 1,200 calories every day and then burning about 2,500 calories every day. So you can see that I am in a calorie deficit. I am also focusing on high protein meals. I did eat a lot of chicken this week, grilled chicken, crock pot chicken, roasted chicken, all the chicken during my week. That was my main source of protein. There was some tuna also, but mostly chicken. And for instance, again on Sunday, out of my 1,100 calories, I had 547 calories of protein, 269 calories of fat, and 329 calories of carbohydrates. For me, that's a very good distribution between the proteins, the fats, and the carbs. I try to do high protein because that makes me feel fuller longer, but you still have to have some of the healthy fats and some carbs to really give you energy throughout the day. If you're not familiar with macros, you can kind of infer that that means your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins, like we just talked about. But some people, if you're new to a weight loss journey and you have never talked about those things or tracked those things before, it may feel a little bit overwhelming, right? But if you get one of the MyFitnessPals or the Fitbit app, I promise it can help a lot. It even has a barcode scanner. So if you are eating a food that has a barcode on it from the grocery store, you can click the barcode option and then scan that with your phone, and it will input that into the app for you, which is so helpful and so convenient. I promise this is not a sales pitch for Fitbit. But seriously, it's so helpful and convenient. But, disclaimer, you have to be careful about the information that is already input, because I have found a few barcodes where it provided me with incorrect information. Maybe the proteins weren't correct, or it was not as many carbs as was on the packaging. So if you are using that feature, just be aware and try to make sure that all the information that you're putting in is correct. So overall, out of the 1,100 calories that I'm eating per day, I'm focusing on high protein, and that's about 40 to 50% of my calories are all coming from proteins. And that has been very successful for me so far and in the past. So I do plan to stick to that in the coming weeks. But if you guys are interested in the specific recipes that I made this week and am making in the future, let me know, because I would love to make a video for you guys showing my meal prep and the different kind of foods that I'm eating. Another really important aspect I feel to nutrition is water intake. There are a lot of folks I know, some that I work with, that don't get nearly enough water intake. For me, I like to track my water with this Bubba bottle. This is 64-ounce water bottle. And instead of having multiple water containers or cups during the day, it just feels so much easier to fill this thing up at the beginning of the day or maybe the night before. And then by the end of the day, it needs to be empty. And also, the only other beverages that I'm drinking besides water are black coffee. Blech, I know, right? Black coffee. But I'm avoiding the sugar in the creamer because that's just adding, for me, unnecessary calories and sugars to my diet. So black coffee only because I still need that caffeine. And I'm drinking Protein 2O. It's a really good protein electrolyte drink. It comes in watermelon and mango. It's a really refreshing drink that I think offers high protein that is not just your traditional chocolate or vanilla type of creamy protein drink. So I find it a little bit more refreshing than those types of protein drinks. And it has the electrolytes. So if you're looking for an extra beverage that you can have that also helps increase your protein, I do like the Protein 2O drinks. I do recommend those. Okay, so we talked about the food and the nutrition part, but let's talk about the movement part, because that is a big part of a weight loss journey, is essentially eat less and move more. I know it sounds simple, but that's kind of the trick. Eat less, move more. Sort of. There's more to it than that, but if we want to just get super basic, that is the trick. But let's talk about the movement that I had this week. I'll show you my, again, Fitbit app and my steps that I took. I was very diligent about trying to reach my 10,000 step goal or more every day this week. I did miss Thursday because I had to work like 12 hours and it was a crazy day. So I did miss one day. But all the other days this week, I met my 10,000 step goal. So I felt really proud of that and getting the movement throughout my day. I also was able to do 4 workouts this week, and 30 minutes of that workout was walking and jogging. Now, when I say jogging, I don't mean running or anything crazy. I would do maybe a minute increment or 30 seconds to a minute of light jogging and then switch back over to the walking. And I did a walk and jog variation during the 30 minutes, usually about a mile and a half ish during the 30 minutes. Then I would do 30 minutes of weightlifting. That's my more favorite part, I think. But I was doing light weights and high repetitions for 30 minutes over different muscle groups throughout the week. The split that I usually like to stick to is Monday is chest and triceps. Tuesday is back and biceps. Wednesdays is shoulders. That's my favorite. I love the shoulders. And then Thursdays are legs and glutes and calves, lower body, basically. Everything from the waist down on Thursdays. So that's usually the split that I like to keep during the week. But you have to find something that you like doing. It's not a good feeling whenever you are dreading your workout or dreading going to the gym. So I highly recommend, if you are starting a weight loss journey, find something you enjoy and something you look forward to. Maybe that's a Zumba class if you like doing a dance style workout, which I love that. It's a high energy, high movement, gets you grooving to the music. So I love a good dance fitness class. But maybe it's just walking or just weightlifting or maybe a martial arts class of some kind. Lots of folks find that martial arts is a great way to stay in shape, or yoga offers another great way. So find something that you enjoy doing that can give you some more movement in your day. While I'm very excited about my 5-pound weight loss in my first week of tracking all of my nutrition, sticking to my workouts, I'm super excited with the 5 pounds at first. I have a long journey ahead, and it's really a lifelong journey too, right? The journey never ends. You always have to stay on top of your health and your nutrition. But make sure that you hit the like and make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss my next video of my weight loss journey. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!